Hey, it's Rebecca Smith from the KBIA newsroom in Columbia, and it's time for Missouri Health Talks, a project where we listen in on Missourians' conversations about access to health care. This week we hear again from Chris Rundle and his mom Angie from St. Louis. Their family shares a rare inherited genetic condition called familial adenomatous polyposis that causes cancer. They spoke about living with the uncertainty of whether or not Chris inherited the disease. Here's Angie.
Do you remember at all when I first talked to you about it?
When we first talked, probably that grandma would do a lot of that, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
because, let's say you were in the hospital, right, for the day, for the weekend, or, something
Yeah.
like that, then I would go with her. And she would probably be the first line to say, your mom's sick right now or something. She probably explained it in a way, but I don't
Yeah.
remember actually learning
Uh-huh.
because, that's what, I keep saying it feels like just how my life was.
Right.
So I don't remember when it first started.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it might have been when my brother also found out that he had it. So at that point, Christopher would have been 8 years old.
I don't think it was until later that I had thought about that it was a genetic disorder. So it was explained to me probably as just a type of cancer, not necessarily genetic, is what I'm thinking.
And then I do remember us having a conversation at some point. I'm going to guess it was probably high school. And I asked you, would you like to find out, or when would you like to find out? Because there's two schools of thought on this. You could try to just ignore it and pretend like it's not there. And then as you get older, we could go ahead and test for it. Or because this cancer develops essentially when you start puberty, you could go ahead and get tested when you're like 16. And then you'll just have that knowledge until you do something about it. So neither's great, but I left it up to you. And you told me you wanted to wait.
Yeah. Growing up, I kind of always just assumed. I didn't know that it was a 50-50 thing.
You thought you had it for sure because your mother had it.
Yeah, my mother
Yeah.
had it and both of my uncles had it.
That's right.
My grandpa died of it and my great-grandpa died of it.
Yes.
That seems like, okay, it's going to happen. You might as well wait. It's not like the knowledge is still there anyways. So yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, because you were negative for the gene. It would have actually given you some relief if we had known and
Yeah,
we had
that's true.
gone ahead
Yeah.
and done the test at 16.
Yeah.
You would have been relieved and we wouldn't have had to worry about it.
Yeah.
But at least we're relieved now.
To me, it wasn't really scary to try and find something out. Going into a medical building, it's kind of bleak, and you're thinking like, man, I'm gonna find out I have cancer today.
Because it was during the height of COVID, they didn't let me go into the actual hospital. So I was in my car and I got the phone call. The doctor who did it was my doctor. And he said to me, we're all done. Would you be upset if the only thing he inherited from you was your blue eyes? And I said, are you kidding me? No, that's amazing. And I started crying. I was so relieved and also kind of surprised because for the last 19 years had pretty much told myself, okay, make your peace with the fact that you gave it to him. So finding out that he didn't was miraculous.
That was Chris Rundle and his mom Angie speaking about finding out that Chris does not have the inherited genetic condition that causes colorectal cancer. That's it for this week's Missouri Health Talks, which was reported by Katie Quinn and edited by me. Tune in next week for more conversations from throughout the state about health and access. I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks for listening.